You mentioned in the opening this DeepSeek moment where we finally realized that China could compete, and these barriers we had thought we had put up by not allowing NVIDIA chips, et cetera, weren't as significant as we thought. Can you just describe what the realization was? Because there were a lot of controversies that obviously they use the ChatGPT model to learn and then compartmentalize that. I forgot the term. And then some people said they did find the chips. But what was the lesson that we learned from that?
Well, I should be very open about this. Huh? I'm on neither sides of the camp. Huh?
Yes.
I'm a spectator observing both.
You want them to stop doing what they're doing.
I want them to work together.
Yes. Right.
I want them to work together for the betterment.
You don't have a dog in the fight. You want them to stop the fight.
Yeah, I'm the dog, really. I want to stop the fight.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You're the computer saying, let's stop playing this stupid war game.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
But you have to imagine that the original advancement of AI until DeepSeek was almost completely separated. China, being an industrial nation, was focusing on AI that helps with industrial processes and logistics and supply chain and so on. And they had incredible products that actually served China. That is not the American style, where you want something you can market. It doesn't really have to have a lot of deep intelligence in it but it needs to be fancy. Okay, and so you could see that most of the US side of AI in the public eye was things like ChatGPT and language models. Most of the actual achievements on the Chinese side was very industrialist, if you want. And they didn't compete at all. Okay? The reason for the competition is that the bully goes in recess and just annoys the other taller kid. Okay? And the bully basically says, you know what, I'm going to sanction you, I'm going to prevent you from getting the chips, I'm going to and somehow, again, I say, if you really want the truth, again, the media will tell you that China is the second biggest economy in the world. That's in US dollars. Okay, in purchasing power parity, what China is capable to do with their GDP, they're way more powerful. And the way China, I don't have a dog in the fight. So when I was at Google, I was one of the very few executives that were always welcomed, to work with the Chinese government at very high levels. When we did Project Loon at Google X, for example, we needed to fly over China, and the only person that can go and say to the Ministry of Defense, you can trust us, was myself, right?
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside, I view, is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the Investment Club.
And I sat in meetings where the Chinese government, in Chinese, of course, with an interpreter, so basically talking about, okay, we're now going to focus on the Internet of Things, or we're now going to focus on solar energy, or we're now going to focus, beyond my days, I'm sure they had a meeting that said electric cars. And the way they do it is a boot camp. They basically will say, look, solar panels, the government is going to support in yuan, not in US dollars, which is a massive purchasing power for the government. We're going to support any company that starts in that space. So within months, you'll have 75 companies across China battling it out in a boot camp, basically becoming incredibly fit. 60 of them will disappear. and the remaining 15 will own 90% market share in the world, right? And so you can see that when you go to China with the American bullyish approach, and you say, all right, from now on you're going to get the second citizen in NVIDIA, you're not going to get the top chip. What does China do? They get together and they say, all right, we're going to make our own microchips. They're now down to 7 nanometers. I think they're going to probably have the best chip in the world before 10 years. Right? Yeah. And now the question is, why would you do that? Why don't you just go to them and say, hey, we want to support your industrialist AI thing. Please send it over to us and teach us. We will send you the absolute best chips in the world, and just open up your society to our consumer AI. Everyone wins, everyone's happy, okay? And instead of, and by the way, this is not unusual. Humanity has managed many, many times. The nuclear treaty is one of them, even though, unfortunately, the devious politicians really never disarmed, okay? But CERN is a great example. CERN, or the space station, right? Something that's good for all of humanity, where we put our differences aside. Humanity couldn't build 2 CERNs, right? So the particle accelerator, for people who don't know, in Switzerland, massively important for people who are avid, lovers of physics like I am, couldn't understand the world better without a CERN. And every nation in the world is there. All of the research is open source for everyone. Everyone's advancing. Technologies are helping everyone. Why not? Why not? Do we have to reach the point of mutually assured destruction before we finally decide, all right, you know what, let's go for mutually assured prosperity? And it's quite interesting. For me, I feel that the retaliation of the Chinese government against the Trump tariffs is sort of, for the first time in my lifetime, a nation standing up and saying enough is enough, okay? If you are going to treat me that way to push me to negotiate, let me show you who needs to negotiate, okay? And I think that might be a good thing, even though I think it's going to really be devastating for the economy, probably on both sides, and on every side.
But the truth is that the Chinese are going to be just as suspicious as the Americans would be in this scenario. So it's not, if you want to call the U.S. the bully in this case, you're also looking at another side that is probably just as suspicious.
No, of course, the taller kid is now bullying everyone. Again, there are no sides. As much as, the one that started it is on one side, if you want, right? The fun bit here is, if you really think about it, at 125%, I think, where we stand now.
Oh, tariffs?
Oh, tariffs?
Yeah,
for China.
145.
145. I think so. That's goodbye Christmas to every child in America. Just think about that. Huh? Think about probably 90% of the toys that were given in Christmas last year were made in China.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.